What has this meant to you emotionally? How, if any way, has PrEP affected your emotional life and your mental health?
It's complicated. My relationship to my sexuality is evolving every time, every day. As soon as I think I have an answer for it, like I'm only gonna do this sexual act with this person or that person, like something comes along to change my mind. And that freedom, that being comfortable in change, in evolving thought and practice is something that I'm not used to. I was always so rigid. I was afraid of venturing out of that comfort zone. But also I would try and sneak out and, do all those things that I thought was like out of the periphery. And I don't have to sneak around anymore, and that's great. I'm a reluctant advocate, I'm in front of a camera talking about my sexuality. I didn't know this was going to happen a year and a half ago. So yeah, it's made me more at ease in my body and comfortable in my own skin, and that's really great.
Yeah, it's an incredibly empowering space to be in. And for me, it's only been 5 months since I started PrEP, and I think it's definitely will probably still continue to change of how it's really impacted my life from my fears, and I'll just being open about a lot more and really being comfortable stepping out of a box without fear is it's a big change in perspective. So it's still an adjustment after years of changing and very specific messages about how you can have sex or who you can have sex with or when you can have sex. So it's still an adjustment.
It's a constant thing sometimes. Even now, I've been on it for a while, but I still I don't know, I still forget, it's not forget, but it's just a weird feeling. You're like, oh, I could do that, So yeah, and emotionally, I'm just an emotional wreck. No, I think if anything, it's made me happier for sure. Just more carefree attitude. But yeah, and it's made me just all around better. You're not anxious and you can educate people, which is amazing. So yeah.
I think PrEP has really allowed me to, take the reins of my sexual life, and it's a good ride. It's a good ride. I'm going back, having a little flashback, and when I was in college, I would be me and the HIV tester at the student health center were best friends because I was constantly in her office. I was like, 3 months. Hey, girl, we got a date. We got to, have a conversation. So, I was constantly anxious, even if I used a condom. Oh, I had a cough. Oh, Lord Jesus. Mm-hmm. I may, be HIV positive now, right? Or this could be acute HIV symptoms, right? I know them by the book. I think, PrEP has reduced the anxiety so much. I remember when, I engaged sexually with a partner my first time on PrEP, and I was in the shower, and I was like, I'm not nervous. I'm not, thinking about this. And I think it was at that moment that it really kicked in that was impacting me mentally. And from there it was a wrap. I was like, oh, this is fantastic.
Never looking back.
Yeah, never looking back. Yeah. Never look back.
I remember one time I went to a CVS and I bought one of those at-home HIV tests, and I took it literally Silkwood shower, I can't believe. But I took it and it was positive, and I was like, of course. So I run to my clinic and they were like, that's probably a false. I was negative. They tested me and they were like, that was probably just a false positive. But that's the epitome of what sex was before. It was just all this that was great, but now I'm scared for 2 weeks. And so yeah, it's completely alleviated so much stress in my life.
As someone who is oftentimes and usually the receptive partner in anal sex, what that's always meant is that someone else had to wear a condom. And it was always up to someone else to wear that condom and make sure it didn't fall off or fall in or break or some mysterious circumstance, the thing would disappear, but it was always dependent on somebody else. So every day when I take that blue pill, I feel like, okay, I'm the one who's in control. And then I felt like now I'm more in control of other parts of my life too, other parts of my career, other parts of how I express myself or speak or practice my work have also been impacted by a greater sense of saying, I have some control over my destiny that I did not feel like I had before. And so for me, emotionally, that has been a profound change. And as I've said before, having lost people to AIDS and really feeling like I do this to honor my body, but I also do this to honor them because they were clear, and I'm thinking of two people particularly who I lost, were like, don't let this happen to you. I get emotional when I think about that. I feel like now I have that control to make sure this does not happen